Hey, and welcome to session 19 in our series of lessons dealing with music theory made easy. Now, again, this is session 19, and if you haven't done so far, hit like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so that you can get notifications as to when we post something. Now, in our last session, we dealt with triads. We dealt with how to get a major, minor, augmented, diminished triad. To get a diminished triad, you have to lower the third and the fifth. In order to get a minor triad, you lower the third. In order to get an augmented triad, you raise the fifth. So that's what we dealt with in our last session, triads. We even dealt with seventh chords, and we'll get into that in one of our next sessions. But today, we want to deal with diatonic chords. Okay, one more time, we want to deal with diatonic chords. And diatonic chords are chords that are built from scales, from notes within the scale, put it that way. Okay, a diatonic chord is built from notes within the scale. So we're going to be using the C scale. We're going to be using the C scale. And but one more time, diatonic chords are built from notes within the scale. And we're going to be dealing with the C scale. All right, let's look at it. Let me get out of the way so you can see it. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And we know the next one is going to be C. But for our intents and purposes right now, we're going to end at B. All right, now, one thing that we need to remember for all intents and purposes for what we're doing today, this is how we're going to say it. First scale degree, second scale degree, third scale degree, fourth scale degree, and on down the line, all right? So we're not going to say the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and so on. But what we're going to say is first scale degree, second scale degree, third scale degree, fourth scale degree, and so on. So remember now, we're using the C scale. Okay, we're using the C scale. So let's go on. Now, a triad, remember, is built on thirds. Okay, the triads is built on thirds. So let's look at the first one. The first one is C. So a third up from C is what? E. And a third up from E is what? G. So the first one is C, E, G, which is a major triad. It's a major triad. Now, why is it not E flat? Why is it not G flat or E sharp or G sharp? Because we're in the key of C. And in the key of C, there is no sharps or flats. Remember, there is no sharps or flats in the key of C. So CEG is our first triad, and it is a major triad. Okay, it's a major triad. So this is our first scale degree in the key of C. Let's go to the second scale degree, and the second scale degree is D. So a third up from D is what? F. And a third up from F is what? A. Now, in order to determine this scale degree, we have to go to our D major scale. Now, if you know your D major scale, it has two sharps. It has C sharp and F sharp in the D major scale. C sharp and F sharp. So here, and in the key of C, there is no sharps or flats. But now if we go to the D major scale, that triad is D, F sharp, A. Okay? D, F sharp, A. So since we have F, all right, that means that F is lowered a half step. Okay, remember, go to the D major scale, D major triad, D, F sharp, A. So in this case, the F is lowered a half step. So anytime the third is lowered a half step, that makes that chord a minor chord. So the second the second scale degree is a minor. Okay? And always remember, major chords are noted by a capital M, and then minor chords is noted by a small m. So the first scale degree is major. The second scale degree is what? Minor. Let's go to the third scale degree. A third up from E is G, and a third up from G is B. All right? One more time. A third up from E is G, and a third up from G is what? B. All right? Now, what is this? Is this a major or minor? All right, let's go to the E major scale. All right, the key of E major. So that's E, G sharp, B. So in this case, in the key of C, there's no sharps or flats. So this is going to be minor because that G sharp is lowered a half step here. Okay. So again, in order, if the third is lowered, put it that way, if the third is lowered a half step, that makes that chord or triad minor. So our third scale degree is what? It's minor. Let's go to the fourth scale degree. The fourth scale degree. A third up from F is what? A. And a third up from A is C. Now, is this major or minor? Let's go to the F major scale. It only has one flat, that's B flat. So, F, A, C. This is major. Okay? This is going to be major. All right, so just remember now, we're in the key of C. No sharps, no flats. Okay? So in this case, if you go to the F major scale, one flat, B flat, then here there is no sharps, no flats. So it's F, A, C, which makes it a major scale. Let's go to the fifth scale degree. The third up from G is what? B. And the third up from B is D. Is this major or minor? Well, let's go to the G major scale. All right. The 1 is G. The 3 is B. The 5 is what? D. All right. So this is a major scale. Not a major scale. It's a major triad. All right. It's a major triad. All right. Let's go to the sixth degree of the C major scale. The sixth degree, the third up from A is C, and the third up from C is E. Now, in order to determine whether this is major or minor, we need to go to the A major scale. So that's going to be A, C sharp, E. Okay? A, C sharp, E. In this case, the C is not sharp. So therefore, it has been lowered, or it's lowered a half step, which makes it a minor triad. One more time, I know I keep repeating, but I want you to get it. A minor triad is noted by the lowering of the third. In this case, the C has been lowered a half step, making it a minor triad. So this is minor. All right, that's minor. Now, the next one, the seventh degree of the major scale, of the C major scale. So a third up from B is D, and then a third up from D is what? F. All right, a third up from B is D, and a third up from D is F. Now, is this major, minor? Okay, it's neither. It's neither major nor is it minor. So what is it? Now, if you go to the B major scale, in the B major scale, the D is sharp and the F is sharp. But in this case, the D and the F is lowered a half step. So what triad is it when the third and the fifth is lowered a half step? It is a diminished triad. So the seventh degree of the C major scale is a diminished triad. And I'm gonna note this by lowercase d. All right. So let's go over this again. We're in the key of C major, no sharps, no flats. Major, the first degree is a major triad. The second degree is a minor triad. Third degree is a minor triad. The fourth degree is a major triad. The fifth degree is a major triad. The sixth degree is a minor triad. And the seventh degree is a diminished triad. Okay, one more time. The first degree of the C major scale is major. The second degree is minor. The third degree is minor. The fourth degree is major. The fifth degree is major. The sixth degree is minor. And the seventh degree is diminished. And why is it diminished? Because in the key of C major, the E and the F has been lowered or is lowered a half step, making it a diminished chord. So let's go over this one more time. In order to get a minor chord in any key or any scale, in order to get a minor chord, you lower the third a half step. In order to get an augmented chord, you raise the fifth a half step. In order to get a diminished chord, you lower the third and the fifth a half step. Okay? That's how you get those particular chords or those particular triads. All right? All right. Now, let's move on to one other thing. Now, let me say this. This is the same formula. Okay? It's the same formula in all of the major scales or major keys, whichever one you call it. It's the same formula. It's always going to be major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. But the thing is knowing how to derive or knowing how to get to this. All right. But it's the same formula. If you're in A flat, B flat, G major, D major, A major, E major, B, it doesn't matter. It's the same formula. Okay, it's the same formula. Now, let's move on. Now, we have the letters, I call it the letters, but now let's look at the Roman numeral. The Roman numeral way of saying this. All right, major is denoted by a capital, I say a capital Roman numeral. Okay, now that's your major. Your minor is noted by lowercase. All right. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, so your major chords or major triads is noted by capital Roman numeral. Minor, lowercase. All right. The third degree, same thing, lowercase. All right. The four, major. All right. Uppercase. The five, major. Uppercase. All right. And the six, major, which is minor. All right. Okay. Remember, major, uppercase, minor, lowercase. And the diminished is noted by this. All right. All diminished, whether it's half diminished or full diminished, is going to be noted by the circle after the number or the letter. Now, let me say this. The half diminished is noted by a slash going through the circle. Okay, one more time. A half diminished is noted by the slash, a slash going through the circle. All right, so today we went through the degrees, the scale degrees of the C major scale. Now, as I said before, this is the same formula in all your major keys. It's the same formula in all your major keys. So if you can grasp onto this formula, then you got it. Now, let me say this to you. If you have any questions or comments, send your questions or comments to musicmadeeasy2020@gmail.com. musicmadeeasy2020@gmail.com. Send your questions. I welcome your comments. I mean, if there's something you felt that we said that was wrong or you wasn't clear about, send it to us and we can discuss it and clear it up. As always, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I know everything. If there's something that I can't answer, I will make sure that I have somebody here that can answer that question for you. Okay, thanks for joining me in session 19 of Music Theory Made Easy. And I'll see you in session 20.